Have you ever created an ideal patient message that correlates with your ideal patient avatar? If you haven't, I want you to stick around to the end because we've got a framework that'll work exactly the way you want to help you craft that message for your ideal patient. My name is Dr. Derek Barron. Welcome to Practice Insider's Edge.
Hi, and I'm Terry Barron.
Today, we want to talk to you about our second part of our practice leverage method, which is the patient foundation. We've been speaking to you about the practice foundation. Let me just share that with you real quick. I'll show this to you. So we've been speaking to you about on the very foundation of it. On the bottom is the practice foundation. Last week, we spoke about the perfect patient avatar. And this week, we want to speak right about here in the bottom in the middle about the perfect patient message. So we're going to bring on.
We've covered everything in our tutorials on that first level, and now we're on that second level, the patient foundation.
So Terry, why do you need to have a perfect patient message?
Such a good question, Derek. I'm so glad that you asked. Why you need to have this message is that at this point, your marketing is going to be very simply based off your ideal patient. So if you're not sure how to create that ideal patient avatar, we definitely recommend that you check out our video tutorial that we did for our viewers last week. We just did this video on how to create that ideal patient avatar for yourself, for your clinic.
And if you can't find this, just drop a comment below and we'll get it to you.
We'll get it to you for sure. So that's the number one reason, is that it's going to actually simplify your marketing and make it very specific so that you are focusing on that ideal patient when you create this new marketing message. You want to keep in mind the second reason why you want this is that it is going to be the core of your marketing message, and it's going to drive all of your marketing moving forward, at least for the time being, because we have niched you down to just focusing on that perfect patient, the patient that you really want to draw in.
Initially, don't get scared of that. Remember, this is just one piece that we're working on. If you like to treat headaches, we're going to help you craft that ideal patient avatar, an ideal patient message, and eventually the ideal patient method for headaches. And then you could advance to the next component. So it's not everything that we're asking you to change for your practice. It's just starting with one where you work on that specifically.
Exactly. And then the third reason why you want to have this perfect patient message is that it's going to help you specifically attract the type of patient that you're looking for, this perfect patient avatar you created, or it's really, you haven't created them, you identified them.
Yeah.
They exist and you have identified exactly who you want to draw into your practice. And so knowing that, and again, that's all from last time, from our last week video, knowing that is going to help you speak directly to that type of patient through your marketing. So that's why you want to craft that message, is because it's going to help drive that marketing for the perfect patient you want.
And you want your practice filled with those types of patients. So
Right.
You want to have your ideal patient in, so you create the message that speaks to them, and that's what will help bring them in.
Exactly. So what happens for our clients, for our practice owners, if they do this and they do understand how to craft that perfect patient method.
Yeah, it's
message.
P&P
Oh my
and
goodness.
message and page is
Yes.
getting difficult for us. So the question is great, Terry. It's all, what is the next level we can do to get them there? And it's really about being congruent. So we want to help you be congruent with all of your marketing that works along for your perfect patient avatar. So once you get the avatar set and you create the message that works with them, it becomes congruent, whether it's you talking in a treatment room with it, or if you're back in the gym, or if you're out giving a speech to a local community. And also it needs to come from your front office when they're, answering the phone. If you're running a Facebook ads campaign that's speaking directly to and or about that specific avatar, we need to have that message come across all the time. And then we really need to have the marketing itself becomes easier because you have one message to speak to. Again, we know you can treat grandkids to grandparents, but we want you to focus on the headaches. We want you to focus on the women. We want you to focus on, we actually just had somebody join our Facebook group today that one of her niches is pectus excavatum. And if you think that's not niching down to a sharp niche, you're crazy. It's great. And she's having tremendous success with it. And that's fantastic. So that just goes to show she can create one message with that. And then she can create other ones as well. And then, you have to have a message that will work as you start to craft your branded method, which we're going to talk about next week. Just like our practice leverage method, We want you to come up with a method that speaks to that ideal patient and how you can attract them and bring them through the doors. So then the next thing is, how do you go about getting this into the practice?
Right, exactly.
So
how do you get this message? How do you create it, right?
Yeah. So you need to know who your ideal patient is even better than they know themselves to craft that message that you're attracting them. In other words, the way to kind of think about this is, if you have never injured your knee, can you speak from the heart what it's like to have a sprained knee, a torn ACL, a meniscus injury? If you can't, it's a little bit harder to speak directly to that. If you've never been a woman that has given birth, it's hard to speak to that message, what it's about. So when you have the ability of living through their eyes, so when you know what they had, as in their pains or their struggles, you can help them determine through your message what the goals and desires are moving forward. So, where are they struggling? Have you ever been in their shoes? You'll use this to create your marketing message along the way.
And you don't have to have been in their shoes. Okay, we're gonna touch on that in the next point here, or in the next action box here. But you don't have to be a woman who has had a child to know that you really want to work with pelvic floor health issues. But if you are, that helps you when you are crafting this message. But we'll tell you what else you have to do.
It helps you understand them better. So you need to know which drives your ideal patient has. In other words, the drivers that they have. There are really two things that people are looking for when they call your office or are checking you out. Number one, are they looking to get out of pain? Or are they looking to improve their function or move more towards pleasure? Two separate things, two extremely critical different components that you would craft for that message. So if you have a pain-related practice, your message isn't going to be more so about, we're going to get you back into running and jogging or enjoying, your grandkids again. You're going to be doing that immediate pain reliever, whatever you can do to help them out of that. Or if you work in a functional rehab type of a facility, you're going to be talking to them about what you can do to get them more moving towards their pleasure aspects.
And it doesn't mean you won't incorporate both of those components, because we realize that most of our patients do usually have some level of pain and do want to improve, but it's definitely their mindset. And so you need to know that when you're crafting your message, is where is their mindset? Is it more on number one, getting out of pain, or more on number two, improving their function and moving towards pleasure? Don't worry, we're not saying that you're not going to work on both pain and function in your practice. Okay. This is about marketing and creating the message for your perfect patient avatar.
So Terry, what are some action steps they can take?
Great. I love it that we're getting to that point that we can wrap up and give you some homework, right? So you have to start thinking like an investigator. And that's what I was alluding to just a moment ago, that if maybe you are a female healthcare practitioner of some sort, and you do love taking care of women who have pelvic floor issues, but you haven't actually had that, or you haven't had a child. So you aren't exactly in your perfect patient's shoes, or haven't been. You need to be an investigator. Right? So you need to be able to talk to those types of patients that you love. You need to draw out more information. You need to talk to family, friends, anything you can do to be an investigator. Maybe it's going back to some of your books or some of your favorite websites, or I don't know, maybe a Facebook group that offers really good information, kind of like Practice Insider's Edge has lots of great clinicians and business owners in there that you can use as a resource to start doing your investigation. So you definitely want to investigate what your perfect patient avatar is thinking and what they're looking for, because if you know them inside and out, that's going to help you craft your message.
Good point.
And then the last thing for homework is to reach out to us and grab a framework. We actually have a framework to help guide you on how to craft that message to market to your perfect patient avatar.
So as always, if you are a private practice healthcare business owner and you need some help crafting your $1 million patient message, and you would like our framework to help you do that, if you're watching this on one of our social channels, just comment the words below patient message. We'll get that framework out to you. If you're watching this on one of our landing pages, all you have to do is fill out the form below. We'll get back in touch with you right away, and we can get that framework over to you as well.
And as always, remember, Practice Insider's Edge is here to help you grow and scale your practice and to help you achieve success on so many levels.